What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Cyndi Lauper, and we're returning to Shine, which I think is the later re-release of a fuller version of the album compared to the original release. Thank you again to Seb, not only for the music, but the info, and folks who've commented on this next phase of the Cyndi journey. And we're up to a track that I was stunned by, I was shocked by, and gave out a surprised laugh when I read it. It's called Madonna Wh. Now, obviously, Madonna is a word that has some different meanings and some different reference points, but given that I think a lot of folks, when they think of notable female solo artists who became big in the 80s, a lot of folks will think of both Cyndi Lauper and Madonna, and of course one can write a phrase like this and mean it ironically or in a way that is not as acerbic or seemingly insulting as it sounds on the page. So I don't quite know what to make of this, or whether it is in fact referencing the solo artist known as Madonna, who is a contemporary of Cyndi. And given that I've been going through a Madonna album, Bedtime Stories, where she's specifically clapping back, as a younger generation might say, at the notion that she was too sexual or raunchy in her lyrics and her creative output, which is to say Human Nature by Madonna is a direct shot back at those critics and saying, why is it not okay for me to talk about these things, but it's okay for male artists? And, when was it off limits for me to express myself in this way? Am I just supposed to repress or prohibit myself from talking? So I wonder, given that Cyndi appears to champion a lot of different causes, not only for women, but for, people in the LGBTQ community and others, I would be surprised if she's taking a shot at Madonna's sexuality here. Now, again, that doesn't mean it's impossible, and maybe it could be about the perception of doing songs about sex and sexuality in a way that might be seen as crass, but again, I'm not sure what to make of this, but I'd be surprised if it's as sharp as the phrase itself seemed on the page or in the folder when I looked at it. I guess we'll find out, or at least I'll see what I can catch on this first listen. This is Cyndi Lauper. The track is Madonna Wh, and it's from the 2001 album Shine. I like that woodwind.
What are you thinking when you push me away? Was it some promise in your youth you made? Holding in for something or hoping to be safe? Doesn't make you feel power, or are you just afraid of me? Every woman's a Madonna, every woman's a whore. You can try to reduce me, but I'm so much more. I don't wanna be your mother, won't be shoved in a drawer, 'cause every woman's a Madonna, every woman's a whore. That's right. I don't know if you say so. You got so many do's and don'ts, my head is spinning.
tune. And indeed, it certainly seemed to be addressing the concept of the Madonna, a beautiful and, what's the right word? Like idealistic conception of like a true woman, and juxtaposing that with the term whore, which is a disparaging and hypersexualized assessment of a woman's ladylike character. But I love that it's not only not about the singer Madonna, but it's basically saying, don't put me in a box. Like, not every woman, indeed, no woman is one or the other. No woman is like perfectly just one category as perceived by Romeo and other men keen to put a woman either on a pedestal or in the gutter. The idea is every woman has complicated experiences and emotions and attitudes towards sex and her own personal history. So, don't put me into a drawer. Don't try to categorize me, whether it's positive or negative, because I'm complex. I'm more complex than apparently you or other men are thinking. And so I love the way that it takes these dichotomies, these categorizations, and sweeps them off the table and says, you don't really know what you're talking about. And every woman has the potential, and every woman probably at one time or another is one or indeed both of those things. And you're oversimplifying what it means to be a woman and all the real women out there in the world. I'm flesh and blood. I'm not a template. I'm not a conceptualization. I'm an actual person, and you should recognize me and other women as such. So I like the way it's dispelling overbroad understandings and saying that labels fail to do justice to the complexity of humanity. Now, of course, as an anthropologist and a historian, I completely agree. Now, I'm laughing because sometimes when I listen to music, and especially when I listen to the electronic styles for which my DJ history is based on, acid techno, acid trance, hard trance, and so on, I'm always trying to say, like, what would you call this? It has characteristics that speak to some different subgenres and so on. So I engage in, for didactic purposes, labeling and categorization, but of course that's with genres of music. And even if people are wary about categorization in that regard, which I do understand, of course taking it to the level of labeling humans and supposedly types of humans or types of subgroups of humans, it's a much more dubious process just to begin with, never mind in specific cases. So I love the meaning as I took it of the song. I like the sonics a great deal. We have a mixture of this, grooving bass giving the backbone of the track, and a bit of this like hip hop or R&B flavored pop track styling, mixed with this bluesy guitar which flourishes at some different moments, but especially this like Andean style flute. I don't know if it's a pan flute or if it's truly the type of flute that you would hear in Andean music, meaning like the part of South America with the Andes mountains, where there's sort of like traditional musical styles that are distinct to that region. But ultimately, the flute in particular was the marquee element of this one sonically, and I like the way it blended with, again, a bluesy guitar and this sort of hip-hop style rhythm. And I feel like Cyndi's voice had like this filter on it. It almost sounded like that kind of megaphone sound where there's a bit of that like digitization, or what's the right word? Not like flat, because that would sound like I'm being critical. I'm not, but it's sort of like flares out the vocals a little bit. It wasn't like a huge style in that regard, where I've heard some vocals where they really sound like someone shouting through a megaphone, and it sounds like not like a true voice. Here the effects seem to be more minimal, but it definitely didn't sound like a normal straightaway true voice vocal delivery. But yeah, I like her attitude in the vocal delivery. It's not necessarily combative or overly sharp, but it's matter of fact, it's frank, it's telling you how it is, which feels like it fits very much with the themes of the tune overall. So yes, a very enjoyable one. Keen to hear what people have to say about this. Let me know, and I will see you next time. Peace.